Well, what an amazing week of college football it was. Now, if your team lost, like mine unfortunately did, kind of dampers it a little bit. And obviously, if your team was a part of the massive upset Saturday, then yeah, you're not going to really think, oh, wow, what a great day. All these upsets. I mean, wow, what a great time for the sport. But from a pure college football standpoint, this was one of the best weeks of college football I can remember in a very long time. Every single year, we just seem to have these historic games that, we already love college football enough, but it just makes you love it more. It shows you why it's the best sport in the planet. It shows you why it's better than the NFL. I mean, you see all of this. I mean, incredible. So we're going to talk about a few games. But before I do, there is one thing I want to say that's off topic for a little bit. Unfortunately, we got yet another hurricane heading for Florida. That's really upsetting. We just had a very catastrophic hurricane a couple weeks ago. And here's another one. Another catastrophic hurricane heading for the Tampa area. It's going to be... Milton's going to be really bad. And I just want the people of Florida to know you're in my thoughts. So if there's anything you can do to help these people, donate to the Red Cross. If you know anybody in Florida, tell them to get out. You still have time. But, I mean, it's devastating to see this. It really is. I just hope everyone in Florida will be okay, but this is not. This is bad. Now, with all that out of the way, though, we're going to begin talking about some of the games. And, unfortunately, I'm going to start with South Carolina Ole Miss. Now, I made a post-game video, like I always do after every game, win or lose. But a lot of that was just me being upset, down bad, all that. I'm going to give my thoughts here. Number one, I mean, to come out from a bye week and get absolutely dominated, to come out looking like that, there's no excuse for that. Absolutely horrible. There is no excuse for that, and that lies on the coaching staff. Just completely unprepared. Horrible. Guys, horrible play calls. I don't know what the coaching staff was thinking, trying to fake that punt. And even if you did fake that punt, that play call on how you did it was abysmal. You were never going to get that. Your offense looked absolutely non-existent. Now, give Ole Miss credit. They're one of the best defenses in college football. That feels so weird to say because we have known Ole Miss for years to have a bad defense. But Pete Golding. I'm just going to be 100% honest. Completely unprepared. There's no excuse for that performance. None. You got absolutely destroyed at home. Not competitive for a second. Your defense, give South Carolina's defense credit. They did everything they could. Ole Miss wasn't great offensively. They weren't. South Carolina completely shut down Juice Wells. Juice Wells even had a fumble. But he was the leading receiver. So, I mean, there's that for the guy. But Ole Miss was able to run the ball. But the thing that confuses me is as bad as South Carolina's offense looked, they had more first downs and rushing yards than Ole Miss. There's no excuse to come out looking like that. None. Especially after a bye week. You had 2 weeks to prepare, and Kentucky, they gave you a blueprint. It showed you how that team could be beat. And you absolutely look like you can't do anything. There's no excuse for that. None. And I'm going to tell you what. The fan base, the patience is running out for Dowell Loggins. It is. Dude better find something quick. Or he's going to find himself on the curb. I'm just telling you right now. Well, you don't have much great players offensively. You're right. But you know what? You also don't have any coaching to help them. Just horrible coaching in this football game. Bad decisions, bad execution, just a bad game, and you got blown out for it. Just upsetting. You come off a bye week. We come in thinking, South Carolina, they have a shot. They can win. Kentucky beat them. Carolina blew out Kentucky. And you come out looking so flat. And you just got dominated. And every positive drive you had, it wasn't much, but it blew up on you. Just a bad game for South Carolina. Bad game. No excuse to get absolutely dominated like that at home, coming off of a bye week. But that's what happened. And this weekend, you got to play Alabama on the road. An angry Alabama team. Good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say. We might as well go ahead and jump into this since we're on topic now. Vanderbilt. Vandy. Yes, you heard that right, guys. Vandy beat Alabama. Let me say it again. Vandy, the Commodores, beat number 1 Alabama. Crazy times, folks. But in all seriousness, look, I have given Vandy a lot of crap on my channel, and they deserved it. They have been one of the worst teams, not only in the SEC, but in the Power 5 for years. But they went out and they got a historic win for not just their program, but for the sport. Who in a million years thought that Bama would lose to Vandy? Because the perception of Vanderbilt is, Bama coming up. They're just going to lose by 50 points there. That's not what happened. That's not what happened, folks. And here's the thing. This wasn't a fluke. This was not a fluke. Vandy straight up beat Alabama. They straight up beat them. They went out right. You got to give all the credit in the world to Diego Pavia in Vanderbilt for getting the biggest win in Vanderbilt history. I mean, guys, this is a game that will be talked about for years, decades. A historic game in college football. And here's the thing. Vandy could actually beat a couple more SEC teams this year. They could. They absolutely could. And unfortunately, my team is included on on some of the teams they could beat. And I'm not saying that because we lost to Ole Miss. I believe Vandy's a dangerous team that can sneak up on some teams this year. I mean, they just beat Alabama. South Carolina hasn't lost to Vanderbilt in 15 years. Yeah, the last time Carolina lost to Vandy, it was 2008. I was just starting kindergarten. I mean, you know how long ago that was? I'm 21 now. About to be 22 in a couple months. So that was a very long time. But I'm telling you, be careful because Vandy can sneak up on a couple SEC teams this year. Kentucky, Auburn, South Carolina, I think they're all in danger. Vandy could beat those teams. They could. It's possible. We'll have to see, but big win for Vanderbilt. You can't even begin to describe. And I'm happy for Vandy. I mean, they won my heart on Saturday. They did. They did. Now, for the Alabama fans, I get it, Alabama fans. This is a terrible loss. There is no excuse for Alabama to ever lose to Vanderbilt. I get that. And I know, because you lost to Vandy, your season's over. You're not winning another game. You're not doing anything this year. We suck. We're going to lose to everyone we play. All that routine. But this might shock you, Alabama fans. What I'm about to say, this might shock you. But I think you're going to be just fine. Again, you're right. Terrible loss. No excuses for that whatsoever. But I would say calm down. Because your season's not over. I get it. Well, we're the team that lost to Vandy, but you're also the team that beat Georgia. You're also the team that beat Georgia. So, while this loss hurts, and it's definitely embarrassing, Alabama, what do you do? How do you respond? You have South Carolina. South Carolina's offense is bad. They're bad. Well, what do you do? How do you respond to that? You take it out on your next opponent, right? And history says that Bama is going to respond to this. That's what history says. We will see what happens. Because look, Bama has lost to teams in years that they shouldn't have lost to, but they've still been just fine. I get it. Well, none as embarrassing as Vandy, but still, I'm just telling you, I don't think the season's over for Alabama. I don't think that because you lost to Vandy, everything is terrible. I still think you're going to be just fine. And again, like, as far as my Gamecocks go, South Carolina's offense, they're in danger right now. They're in trouble. I don't know what to do about the offense going forward. I mean, it struggled against Old Dominion. I shrugged it off, but clearly, I mean, we even saw shades of it last year. I mean, it's been a story for years for South Carolina. Offense just can't get it. I don't know why, but it can't. And, you know, I get it. Alabama, well, we have a terrible defense. Well, guess what? All you got to do is shut down South Carolina. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat South Carolina. You shut them down. Ole Miss shut them down. So we'll see what happens. But I'm telling you, I really think Bama's going to be just fine. I'm not some Bama apologist. I'm really not. If you lose to South Carolina, then we're having a different conversation. But if you bounce back the way you should, I think you'll be just fine. We'll see, though. We'll see. I got a serious question for the Tennessee fans. What on God's green earth happened to that offense? I mean, you went from 2021 to 2022, you went from lighting the entire world on fire, scoring 50, 60 points a game, it felt like. In most of the case, that was reality. So now you're lucky if you even scored 20 against Arkansas. What happened? How did you guys let Alex Golesh get away? Because I hate to tell you, with that new offensive coordinator you have, I mean, Tennessee's offense is in serious trouble. They are in serious trouble. We're looking at darn near a repeat of last year for Tennessee, where they were able to roll over some bad teams, but they lost to one bad team last year, which was Florida. And look, credit to Arkansas. Huge win for the Hogs. Job-saving win, potentially, for Sam Pittman. Incredible win. But is anyone going to really say that Arkansas is all of a sudden some great team now? Come on. And here's the thing. Like last year, you lost to a bad Florida team, then you lost to every other good team you played. I think you're on par for that again this year, if you don't fix something with that offense. Now, Joe Milton was never the greatest quarterback in the world last year, but we're seeing some things repeat with Nico. Nico Amaliava, a guy who Tennessee fans had really high hopes for. It ain't looking good so far for Tennessee's offense. It's not looking good at all. Now, that defense is really good. But when your offense can't score, there's only so much they can do. And when you play better teams than Arkansas later down the road, and you will, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. I mean, Tennessee's got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out fast. I mean, we saw warning signs against Oklahoma. You were able to dominate NC State. Well, NC State is really bad this year. They're really bad. So what does that really mean? And when I say this, I'm not trash-talking Tennessee. I'm just telling you the truth. And the Vol fans know it too. If something doesn't change with that offense, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And we'll see what Tennessee does going forward, but not a good look when you can't score, when you can't even score 20 against Arkansas. Not a good look. Now, to the Arkansas fans, it was pure misery last year for Arkansas. Pure misery. And a lot of people thought Arkansas was down bad. And Sam Pittman came out and got, could this be a job-saving win for Sam Pittman? Because don't look now, folks, but Arkansas's 4-2. They have some more winnable games upcoming. I mean, Arkansas, they might not be the biggest joke that we thought they were. Again, I don't think they're great, but I'll tell you what. They can win some more games. They can get to a bowl game. Big win for Arkansas. And oh, man. Rushed the field at the end, played Rocky Top. Played Rocky Top at the end. What a great troll job that was. And, joined Vandy in the goalpost thing. I don't really agree with all the fines that the SEC is doing regarding rushing the field. I think it's stupid. But, yeah, Vandy and Arkansas both got fined. I in my opinion, I think it's absolutely stupid. I really do. But it is what it is. And I get that it's mostly for safety, but I feel like in a way it's just I don't, and I think it's kind of dumb. I do. But who cares? College football doesn't care what I think or what anyone thinks, to be honest. So it is what it is. But great win for Arkansas. Our top 5 team went down. Tennessee, got to figure it out. Yeah, Florida at home now. Granted, Florida's not really that good, but I don't think Arkansas is either. So got to figure something out. And Florida won a game. That's also shocking. Now another, quote-unquote, by the way, heavy on a quote-unquote, top 10 team managed to get beat on Saturday. Missouri. Missouri. Now, here's the thing. I'm sorry. Why did I sing like that, bro? Oh, my God. Okay, but in all seriousness, Missouri lost. They didn't just lose, but they got dominated by Texas A&M. Now, A&M was favored, and I even thought A&M was going to win. So it's not that surprising that A&M won the game. But to beat them by 31 points, that's just pathetic. That is pathetic. And here's the harsh reality for Missouri. And I kind of hate to tell them this because I was pulling for Missouri. I wanted Missouri to have another good season. But this is just the facts right now, Mizzou. And I feel like a lot of them knew this. But for those who didn't, you're just not a top 10 team. You're not. And if I'm being honest with you, you're borderline top 25. That's just what you are this year. Now, I guess if the good news for Missouri is this. You can still win 10 games. You can still win 9 games. You can still have a good season. But as far as playoff chances go, this was dare I say, a death blow to that. Other SEC teams that win 10 games, they're going to get in over Missouri. And this is going to be why. I'm just telling you this right now. Playoff team? Come on. I don't even think Missouri's not a playoff team. Stop it. They're not. I'm sorry to say it, Mizzou, but you're not. So, you can come join me here on this mediocre couch. Saved you a spot. It feels really good on this couch. It's really nice and cozy, so you can come join me if you want to. But sorry to tell you, but not this year. Not this year. I mean, you get blown out like that on the road. That's just pathetic. And Missouri fans, look, Mizzou wanted to shut up all the noise that, they're frauds, they're not going to do anything. Well, you just increased it. You just increased the noise, and you solidified it to them, too. By 31 points to A&M, come on. That's just pitiful. That's pitiful. It's one thing if you lost that game by 3 or 7 points, but to lose it by 31, that's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable, and Missouri fans should put a lot of pressure on them for that. I mean, bad showing by Mizzou. But it is what it is, Missouri. It is what it is. Again, come sit by me on the mediocre couch because, unfortunately for you, I think that's where you're going to be this year. All right, now this one kind of makes me mad. Miami versus Cal. California. You mean to tell me I stayed up till darn near 3 a.m. to watch you blow it? To watch you choke a 25-point lead? You serious right now, bro? Look, love or hate Miami, you just got to give credit where it is. They keep finding ways to win. They're winners, whether you like it or not. Now, I get it. And a lot of people have been crying about the referees. And that Virginia Tech game, that Hail Mary, and now this one with the targeting call. Let me tell you this. Do I agree that the call on the field was targeting? I absolutely agree that it was targeting. Here is the thing, though. And this is going to upset a lot of you. California was up by 25 points, guys. They were up 35-10 and 38-18. They should have never been in the position where the game was in the referee's hands. Never. And same with Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was beating Miami by double digits as well. Should have never been in the position where the game came into the referee's hands. I mean, that's just the reality. And look, again, I was pissed. I had to call back pick 6 with South Carolina LSU. Here's the harsh reality. Carolina was up 17-0. Should have never been in the ref's hands. That's just what it is. It should have never came down to where the game relied on a call. It shouldn't have. So we can sit here and argue all we want about that. But when you're up by 25 points, you should not blow that. You shouldn't. And sorry, folks, but Cal did. Miami found a way to come back and win, and that's what good teams do. That's what great teams do. So give credit to Miami. With that being said, though, Miami fans, this is going to be hard for you guys to accept. You're 2 calls away. 2 calls away from being 4-2 right now. You say the Virginia Tech ending didn't go your way. Say the Cal call didn't go your way. You'd be 4-2 right now. I hate to tell you, but that's reality. Someone's going to beat Miami down the road. Someone is. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it's Louisville next weekend. Miami's on a bye. Maybe it's Louisville. Maybe it's Georgia Tech. Maybe it's someone. Maybe they don't lose until they go into the ACC title against who looks to be Clemson. I was dead wrong on Clemson, guys. Clemson looks good. They look night and day better offensively than they did last year. I mean, it is incredible. So give them credit because Clemson, it looks like they might take it this year. Miami can too, but the only thing is, like I said, guys, Miami, they're vulnerable. Sorry, but they are. That defense. Oh, my God. I don't know. Look, credit to Coach Coop, credit to Miami fans. You won, but this is going to be hard to stomach for a lot of Canes fans. You're 2 calls away from being 4-2 right now. From being on 2 straight losses. And that, again, a lot of Miami fans will overlook that, but that's what it is. Now, again, we could argue whether the calls were right or wrong, but that is true. That's true. 2 calls is what's in the way of Miami being 6-0 right now and 4-2. That is reality. But I don't think that means Miami's trash. I still think you guys can make the title game and should. But I'm just telling you, someone is going to beat Miami this year. Someone down the line in the regular season is going to do it. Will it be Louisville? On the road against Louisville. We'll see. We'll see, because Louisville suddenly looks like they're falling apart right now. So we will see what happens, but credit to Miami. They avoided being another top 10 team to go down this week. So, give them credit. Tip your cap. Whether you're mad at the refs or not, Miami keeps finding ways to win. That's what good teams do, guys. That's what great teams do. They find ways to win. With that being said, guys, that pretty much ends the video. What an incredible week it was last week. And this week looks to be better. We have Florida and Tennessee. And we have Oklahoma, Texas. Now, Oklahoma is my second favorite team besides South Carolina. Oh, SEC, you You can't root for two teams. Cry about it. Cry about it. I don't subscribe to your rules on fandom. I'll fan however I want to. Cry about it. Cry. And as harsh as it look, this pains me to say it, guys, but I think Oklahoma's in trouble too. When it comes to that offense, Oklahoma's in trouble. Texas is so far ahead of Oklahoma right now that it's not even funny. Now, to be fair, Texas was better last year when they lost to Oklahoma. But here's the difference. Oklahoma had an offense last year. They don't this year. Their defense is good, and I get it, guys. Texas didn't look like world leaders against Mississippi State, but they won. I do think that maybe OU will keep it close, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's another 2022. I really wouldn't. Where Texas beat them by like 49 points. I don't think it's going to get that bad, but I unfortunately do think that Texas this year could beat Oklahoma and beat them convincingly. I hope I'm wrong. We'll see, but it's just what everything is telling me is going to happen this year. South Carolina, I mean, we'll see what they do against Alabama. It would be the most Gamecock thing ever, wouldn't it, folks? Wouldn't it be the most Gamecock thing ever to get blown out by Ole Miss and beat Alabama on the road? That would, I'm telling you right now, that would be the most Gamecock thing ever. Vice versa, too. Sometimes Carolina will beat a really good team. They'll get blown out against a team they shouldn't. So, you know. Vandy, let me warn you about something. South Carolina beat Alabama in 2010. Who was their next opponent? Kentucky on the road. Watch out.